But, Peter, how do we get to Neverland?
Fly, of course.
Fly?
It's easy. You think of a wonderful thought.
Welcome to Disney Coffee Talk with Brian and Heather. And today we're going to answer 10 questions to help
enhance your Disney experience.
Our first question comes from Carl. He's from Kentucky.
Hey, Carl.
Hey, Carl.
He asks, do you recommend getting Memory Maker?
Absolutely. I mean, we take full advantage of it.
Yeah.
Whenever we find a PhotoPass person, we always line up in picture formation, get a nice quick snap in.
And the best is the magic shots where they like insert little Disney people into the picture. So like you'll put your hand out or you'll go like this or you'll point and like there's Olaf or Tinkerbell.
And the cool thing is too, the technology's gotten so good that they're very quick with putting the pictures right on the app. So pretty much as soon as the picture's taken, you can check your app and review the pictures.
For question number 2, we would like to thank Laura from Louisiana for asking, should you build in downtime on your Disney vacation?
Hi, Laura.
Hey Laura, thanks for the question. It's a good question.
Most people would probably say yes. I don't necessarily think it's necessary. Because you're only there for a certain amount of days and it's just so fun and you kind of want to just keep going and going and going. So I would say not necessarily unless you have little kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Who need naps.
Right.
Other than that, or if you have a really long time, then sure. Otherwise, I don't think you have to.
I was going to agree with that. If you have little kids with nap time, you definitely want to build that in so that they're not cranky and you can stay there for the fun things that happens later. But I would also add that maybe strategically, you can kind of take little breaks from the park. Because if you're always going, you're going to get real tired by the end of the day. But if you take little strategic breaks here and there, you just walk up and down Main Street without running to the next thing, or you take the train ride around or something like that, so you're not running to a reservation. Those are good ways. People
breaks
mover.
in the park, as
breaks
opposed
in
to
the
you
park.
don't have to leave the park or go back to your hotel necessarily.
Or if you even do, maybe you just go around the monorail or something like that. So strategic is a good way.
Question number 3 comes from Steve from South Dakota. He asks, what is the Park Hopper and would you recommend it?
Thanks, Steve. Park Hopper, yeah, definitely. So normally when you buy just a one-day ticket, you get to go to that park. So once you use your finger, you get in, you can't go from the Magic Kingdom to the Animal Kingdom. But what the Park Hopper does is it allows you to go from one park to another in the same day.
Right. Again, if you have little kids, might not be the best option for you because you might not want to be traveling so far, going to different parks, having to worry about the transportation.
Folding up the stroller, getting it on the bus, all of that.
But older kids, or if it's just adults, or if you have little kids that are really can handle all kinds of transitions, then you might want to try it.
Yeah, because it gives you the ability to go to not just the different parks, but also try different restaurants within those parks.
Yes, because something to note is you cannot eat at a restaurant in a different park, even if you're not going to the park.
Like Epcot, all those lands in the back, you have to have a valid ticket for Epcot to eat like in Mexico.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's worth it.
Yeah, depends.
Okay, number 4 is from Molly from Maryland. She asks, would you recommend taking advantage of Disney after hours?
Absolutely. If you like having no lines, if you like not having to fast pass things and just kind of winging it, definitely the place to go. You walk on, you don't have to wait in line. Even like the fast pass line, it's not even open for fast pass because you just go on. You could walk right on, go on Big Thunder Mountain, walk off, walk right back on.
Yep.
So
and then
definitely
there's
worth
they have other stuff open too. I think a lot of the restaurants and stuff might close, but they have the carts with popcorn and drinks and
Free
stuff
soda,
like that.
free popcorn,
yeah,
free
it's
ice
all
cream.
included too. So that's pretty fun. Yeah, definitely.
worth it.
Katie asks, what are some pre-trip purchases that you would recommend making?
We switched spots. Before going, one of the things I like to do is buy some extra pins for pin trading, so you kind of have those. I also think that getting like hand sanitizer and wipes and all that kind of stuff, because they do sell that stuff in the parks, but they come in like the little collectible thing, and it's like $12 or whatever. So I'd recommend some hand sanitizer and some pins before you go.
Sunscreen,
Yeah, if you go in that time of year.
sunglasses.
Definitely.
What do you mean that time of year?
Well, we're going like in February.
Doesn't matter. It's the sun.
Yeah,
Sun
but
that comes
we're
out
gonna
all
put
the
on
time.
sunscreen in February?
Yes,
I'm not.
absolutely.
Do you see how
You're
red
in
he is
Florida.
already? He's not even there yet.
Ignore him. You always need to wear sunscreen. You should actually be wearing sunscreen regardless of where you live at all times of the year. Especially in Florida. The Florida sun is very
This became
intense.
a public health announcement.
So,
We're gonna
sunscreen is a
refilm the
good
phone.
thing to invest in.
Benna asks, what are some things in the park besides dining and rides that could enhance your Disney experience?
Hi, Bennett. It's a good question. I think one of the things I look forward to every year is like the Sorcerer's game with the magic cards where you can go around. And over in Adventureland, they have something similar with the Pirates Adventure.
Which is free, both free.
Yep, both free. The Firehouse has the cards, and they explain to you how it all works. And there's different stations that you go to, and there's like a little game, and you show the card, and stuff happens. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening inside the park
Yeah.
that you don't necessarily know about. So it doesn't have to always be rides and reservations for restaurants and fireworks.
Right. And also even just like if you stop to notice the little things, you know, while you're on the queues for the lines.
Queue is on.
Queues for the rides, I meant. She distracted me. Queues for the rides. It's important. You can like notice little things like the Haunted Mansion has a really great queue.
Yeah, Peter
Stuff like
Pan,
Peter
if you get in that
Pan,
one.
yes.
That's a good one that we went
It's a small
to.
world. I always love that one just because you can like see the whole thing. From
And then even like there's tons of hidden Mickeys around that you can look for, or over by the bathrooms in Tangled, you
Yes.
can find all the Pascals that are hidden.
Tangled toilets.
Yep. So there's a lot of extra stuff that you can do.
And pin trading, which we've already
the pin trading.
talked about, but
Yep.
that is a great thing to do
Yeah.
besides just worrying about rides.
Interacting with people.
And shopping, of course.
Yeah, just people watching. There's a lot to do in Disney World.
Mandy asks about what are some Fast Pass tips and tricks?
This is all you.
Yeah, I do most of the Fast Pass reservations when we go. Well, if you're staying on property, you can make the Fast Pass reservation 60 days before you go. So you get 3 Fast Passes per day when you're at that park. So even if you have a park hopper, if you're going to the Magic Kingdom first, you get 3 at the Magic Kingdom. You can't do 2 in the Magic Kingdom and then 1 for Epcot when you're there later. Now, I think the Magic Kingdom, you can Fast Pass any ride. You can do Space, Splash, and Big Thunder all in the same day. They don't have it tiered. Other places do have it tiered where, like in Epcot, you get to choose between Frozen, Soarin', and Test Track. And then you get 2 others.
Because
so you
there's
can't do
not
all
as many
3.
rides as at Epcot and
Right.
Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom. So
So
they're
they
all
kind of
tiered.
tier them so that everybody doesn't just go to that same ride. You also can't make 3 Fast Passes in the same day to the same ride. So you can't go on Space Mountain 3 times with your Fast Pass. And it's every hour that they put a block in. So if you get a Fast Pass from 9 to 10, the second one can be from 10 to 11, and then 11 to 12 for the third one, or you can space them out. But after you get in line, after you do the little magic band for that third one, then you can book a 4th one using the app. And that one doesn't have to be at the same park. You can make it for something else after you use up your 3rd one.
Right.
And a trick that I would give that I found is that just because you go on and you want to do the next ride, say you want to do Space Mountain, it's not available at that time that you want to go. You can put in a wider time range to find it, or you can just keep refreshing the app. A lot of times it'll have a certain amount set, and then if somebody was going at that point and then they decide to cancel, that block now gets freed up.
Right.
So keep checking the app.
But you can do it on your phone with your app, or you could do it. There's kiosks in the park,
Yeah, they still have those up.
which sometimes they have different options than your phone, so it depends.
Usually the phone is better and it's just more convenient and everything.
Yes,
So
but
just keep
if you
checking
don't
the
have
app
the
would
app
be
on your phone.
a good suggestion.
Missy asks, how long of a trip do you recommend taking?
Hey, Missy.
That is a good question, Missy.
Obviously, the longer the better, right?
Yes.
Like, if you have the ability to take a vacation for 2 or 3 weeks, it opens up so many possibilities of things to do. But, I mean, usually when I think about it and I think of the parks, like our kids, we have relatively young kids, but they're not babies. So we can do everything with them. But we love the Magic Kingdom and we like Epcot. Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, they're both kind of half-day parks. Plus, if you go more often, you don't feel like you have to always go back to those.
Right.
So I would say you need at least a couple days in the Magic Kingdom, 1 day in Epcot, and 1 day in one of the other parks. So
Ideally.
I would say if you can, start with a 4-day vacation. That would be probably a good place to start.
Yes.
And then you can stretch it out if you have the financial ability or the time, or if the
Right.
kids are out of school or whatever, and make it longer.
You obviously can do it just 1 day. We've done that before when we were visiting relatives in
Yep.
Florida. We just drove 1 day to the Magic Kingdom. You know, park opened, park closed, and that
Right.
it was great. You can do a couple days. We like to usually go for about a week.
Right.
But just keep in mind, Disney is not, unless you really have a lot of downtime, it's not going to be a relaxing vacation. So
Yeah.
even if you go for 2 days, if you go for 7 days, if you go for 12 days, you're going to be exhausted at the end and feel like you need a new vacation.
Definitely.
But it's fun. It's
Yeah,
good.
you
It's a
just
good
have to
feeling.
prioritize. The less amount of time that you have in there, the more you gotta really plan out what it is that's important for your family.
Yes.
For our number 9 question, Pete asks, how do you get the most out of the Disney app?
Hi, Pete. So yeah, again, this is probably mostly me using the app. One of the things I like to do, like I mentioned in the FastPass section, was just to keep checking, keep refreshing. People change their plans all the time, the day of. Reservations they cancel, FastPass reservations they cancel. And if you're using the app, you can sneak in there and grab something that somebody's just canceled.
Right.
It's also great to use as like a map. Like there's a lot of times where somewhere we're not totally familiar with, like in the back of Epcot, somebody needs to use the bathroom. It's great to jump on and find out where the closest bathroom is. Things like that are definitely key. I think you can, go ahead.
Another really fun thing about the app is when you're shopping,
Yes.
if you see an item, you can scan it. If, like, let's say you're looking for size medium and the Emporium in the Magic Kingdom doesn't have the sweatshirt in a size medium, you can scan the tag and then it will show you where else in the park has that shirt in a medium.
And not just the parks either, but also like the gift shops and the
Hotels, yep.
hotels and things. So
Yep.
that's a
And
great one.
you can find it on the map and you can see exactly where it is, how much it is, all that stuff.
And
So
the
that's
app's,
really cool.
The app's going to have your memory maker pictures on there as well. So the app has pretty much everything you need. And don't forget, when you're in the parks, no matter what park you're in at the moment, there's free Wi-Fi. So make sure you jump on that.
And our last question comes from Denise, who lives in Dallas. Her question is, what happens if you don't get to do everything you wanted in the time that you were there?
Hey,
Well,
Denise.
first
You
of
won't.
all, Denise, you won't.
You won't.
Exactly. Don't go in thinking you're going to do everything you want to do. Because there's too much. There's just way too much. You will never get it all done. And
Never.
even if you go 100 times, there's still new stuff that you discover that you want to do next time.
And if you kind of plan it all out minute by minute, like you're gonna miss the magic, the fun, spontaneous things that can happen. And invariably, if you wind up saying, I'm gonna meet Pocahontas between 1 and 2, and it starts raining or something like that, and they cancel that character appearance, it's gonna throw off your entire schedule and you're gonna be bummed and you're not gonna be able to focus on the fun stuff. So yeah, right off the bat, you're not going to get it all done.
Right. So don't.
But that's not a bad thing. That's
Right.
not a bad thing.
Gives you reasons to go back.
Right.
It's a different trip whenever you go. Unlike certain vacations where, it's the same thing. There's only certain things to do, certain places to eat.
Yep.
This is like you have a new vacation every time you go.
Yeah, a lot of times we'll go in. Cleo, hey, leave it. Leave it. She wants to be on.
You want to be on the camera?
Our Disney puppy Cleo.
So a lot
If
of
you know what
times.
movie Cleo is from,
Yes.
Comment!
comment below.
Comment below. So yeah, when we're done, when we can see the end of our vacation approaching, and we know we haven't done everything, we'll sit down one night when we're out at dinner, and we'll come up with a list of something from everybody that we didn't get to do on this trip, and we'll write it down, and we'll plan on it for next time. And before we go, we'll also plan our next vacation. Even if the date changes or the time frame or whatever, it's just nice to be able to say, okay, our next trip is going to be sometime in the future.
It makes it a little bit easier to leave Disney if you know you have a date to come back.
Exactly.
Thank you all so much for writing in your questions, for watching our vlog.
Great questions.
We love Disney. This is just so much fun for us. So thank you for joining us on Disney Coffee Talk, DCT, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.
Bye.